evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome back to another episode, another show of the Vision of Hope. I am your host for this afternoon, Prophet Rusell Ringo. On behalf of the producer, uh, Deborah Ringo, we send our greetings, Happy New Year to those that's uh, been faithfully following the Vision of Hope. And we're just going to talk just a little bit today about, you might see me here and uh, I was looking, trying to, I said, well, I wear this, wear that. And one thing the Lord told me, say, you know what, just be yourself. And that's what we want to talk about, amen, to somebody that's listening. Amen. Call a friend, amen. Call someone, let them know the Vision of Hope, amen, is back on the air, amen, in the year 2022. Amen, that God brought us over, we made it. Amen. So sometime, amen, you see me in a sweater, jeans, and whatever the case may be. And normally there's something I would not even wear, amen, during the show. But today the Lord said, just be yourself. And sometimes we want to let somebody know that's listening, that family or individual that might be watching me now, just be yourself. Sometimes it's hard to uh, find yourself in order to be yourself. We know things, amen, things is different from what it was, amen, last year and probably last couple of years, amen. Things have been, um, our lifestyle, our life has some alters and changes to it, and sometimes that we still try to, amen, carry on that yesterday mentality into a day we living in right now. But you have to just be yourself. Amen. Sometimes in being yourself, sometimes you'll learn how to find yourself and find out really what you're made of, and knowing that the topic of this show is the vision of hope. And sometimes the reason why people have not really landed or have not accomplished their goals or their dreams because they're trying to copycat or duplicate somebody else. And how can you duplicate somebody else and try to eliminate or try to alienate or try to be whatever case it may be to feel like that I want to be like some famous rock star, some famous preacher, or somebody famous, amen, try to emulate and try to take their notes and try to copycat the things that they are doing, and you find yourself with no success or doing anything. But you have to sit back and be who you are. Amen. There's greatness in you. There's greatness all around you, but you got to tap into where you are. We know, amen, that uh, life throw us curveballs and life throw us situations that we really uh, have not expected. But that's a good thing about if you knew where you was going, then you do anything to try to get there. But when you don't know where you're going, then you prepare yourself for the journey. There's some things you would do. There's some things you would alter in your life. You would give up something. You would give up something. Amen. Give up certain people. Amen. In order to follow your dream. And one thing that in life that we find out, amen, when you try to be somebody else, amen, you really don't even know what they've been through, what they went through, even what they're dealing with at the present when you see them. And sometimes, amen, you don't know how long it took them to get to the point where they are. You don't know the sacrifices that they made. But are you willing, if you knew, to give up to do the same thing that they done to get where they are? And I can ask the question, probably not. Probably not. You probably we want microwave success, and we don't want to really get to a point that where it might be some uh, challenging, difficult days ahead of us, or that we don't want to really go through the bad times. We just want to celebrate the good times. But when you order to be yourself and know that if I be myself, I can handle and cope with things better than maybe the next person that I'm trying to act like or be like. And sometimes we know we have kids and we have coming up and just living life, and we'll find somebody in our high school or somebody went through in school to maybe was a very great athletes, and we try to mimic and say, well, I want to be just like him. I want to be just like her. And I want to look like her. And sometimes that we know in society we have stories and maybe have somebody looking might have an experience or might be experiencing it right now that sometimes your child might not feel that she's beautiful enough or your son might not feel that he's handsome enough and he want to be just like the next somebody else over here. And sometimes, amen, we find stories and we see or hear things that young girls begin to bleach their faces and they begin to if they feel they're too overweight they do some things to try to lose weight and they begin to damage their body at a young age, amen, because they've been looking at what they see on TV, what they see on TikTok or whatever they may be looking at a social media outlet, and they feel that's where and how the people look and act every day, and that's not really the case because everything, amen, look good, seem good, behind the scenes, it ain't good. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what challenge they might have. So we're talking, amen, to somebody just passing by your television right now should stop and look. And if what I'm saying fits you, then find out who you are. Amen. Sometimes we surprise ourselves because we don't really know the jewel that's inside of us. We don't know because we have been abused verbally, physically, whatever case may be. We have challenges. We don't even know the jewel that's really inside of us. And we had never tapped into the very essence of who we are. Amen. Because sometimes that when you start out, you maybe start out good and you have had a program per se, how your life ought to be or how you want your life to go. And you would uh, maybe write a journal. Maybe you might jot some things down, some goals that you want to reach at a certain time in your life or reach certain goals each month in that particular year. And for whatever reason, you started out real good and you was accomplishing some of the goals that you had before you on a piece of paper. But for whatever reason, it got hindered. And one thing I heard somebody said that God would grant you what he promised you. It might not come right the next day, but always remember that it's delayed, but it ain't denied. And sometimes that we feel if our uh, entrepreneurship, if we have an idea, have a goal to establish our own business, and it seems like that every time we apply for a particular loan, it's like they get turned down, and something about the grant, something about the proposal, uh, you can never get it right to the point that when you present it to people that can help you, they already find something wrong with it, or the person that might have helped you write the grant or the proposal is AWOL, missing in action, and sometimes you just give up, and then you try to uh, begin to emulate. You begin to go into a phase in your life or in your personal life that the real you put it in the closet, and the real you hide it behind certain things, and sometimes we look around and we begin to see, and I know these years, I know for the past years, and you find ain't nothing wrong with it, but you find a lot of uh, people that really got into a lot of weave, and maybe their hair didn't grow, but they can buy it down to they long as they want it. Um, and a lot of times that they, uh, when I was coming up down south, and I used to see my sisters, the different females, they went and they did their own hair the night before. They took time out to themselves and they made sure that their own nails was done and they did it themselves and they pampered themselves and they had the rollers and they had the curling irons and things of that nature that they did it themselves. And sometimes that excuse me, sometimes that now we rather pay take our bill and take our money that we earn and miss a bill just to get some hair that ain't even yours. Because why? We have seen somebody on the reality show or we've seen somebody on social media, somebody that looked like they had it going on, and I want to look like them, and I want to be like them, and I want to find out whether they get the product, whether they get the nails, and who do the nails, and who's doing their hair, and things of that nature. And you begin to get caught up in some type of fantasy to the point that you don't lost yourself in a falsehood. But just be yourself. If your hair don't grow and a little bit you got on your head, work it. If you might be just a little overweight to your expectations, but still be yourself. You might be uh, very attractive and things of nature, but your attitude is like somebody you see on uh, television. And a lot of time I found out in life, just living and dealing with people, that when one person have a bad experience in relationship, they begin to talk to someone about it, and then they begin to, the person that's listening, begin to tell them, well, I'm not going to be treated like that. And they begin to take on a whole different attitude and demeanor, amen, just because they have heard somebody else had a bad experience. Like they always say, there's two sides to a story. So they're going to tell you what they want you to hear. They're not telling you it might have something they have done to contribute to whatever going on in their lives. So I'm saying today, just be yourself. Because if you didn't start out uh, as a hair raiser, why end up in the middle of your life raising hell? If you didn't start out in a situation with a demeanor, maybe you have been in you that you want to trust somebody, you want to love again, you want to explore things in life, but because of life that you begin to go into a shell, you begin to withdraw from everybody, even withdraw within yourself within. But you got to look in the mirror and you got to shake yourself. This is 2022, that I got to be myself. And if I can't find myself, then you can always pray and ask God to show you yourself. And then whatever is shown and whatever is needed in your life, then just be willing to accept the changes. And sometimes that it might be something in your life that you have to come to grips with. Amen. You have to come to a point that I forgive or forgave or whatever situation might have been, that you can be yourself. And that's one thing that I love about real people. When you say people that's real, and sometimes you might not like the realness in the person, but I'm quite sure the person that's being themselves feel comfortable. When you be yourself, you can have confidence. And when you're just being yourself, amen, you'll know how to treat a person like you want to be treated. Amen. Sometimes I know in years and we have made resolutions that this year that what we're going to do and not going to do. But I want to tell somebody that's looking at me and listening to me now that instead of make a resolution, get a relationship with Christ. Because if when a relationship with Christ comes and the revelation of who he is, and then you can be yourself. We can have friends and different ones we can confine in to a certain extent, and you might feel better by confining in them, but it don't change nothing. You might feel better that you got it off your chest, but the person that you're talking to can't do anything for you. So when you understand and know that I got to be myself and just be who I am, but without God, I can't do nothing. So I just wanted to let you know, just encourage you today, just be yourself. A lot of times people wouldn't come on before audience and would come on just dressed casual. I mean, dressed down. Hey, man, dressed down. And I don't have no makeup on. I don't, none of that stuff. And I didn't run to the barber shop and get a haircut to come on to, amen, speak to this great audience that's listening. Amen. Sometimes people have to see you in the raw. We can have suits on and we can be dressed with the finest apparel on the outside, but we toe up on the inside. Amen. We can look the best. We can look and dress the part, but yet we're still in a place of uncertainty about what we're going to do, how I'm going to do it. But just be yourself, because when you be yourself and people can see the realness and see that you just being who you are, they can relate to you. They can trust you when you be yourself. One thing about, I would say, a phony, what can they do for you? Conniving, lying, cheating, whatever they can do to get over. But today, I just want to encourage you, those that's listening on this great station on Win TV, just be yourself. And if you find something in you that's not who you are, then get rid of it. When you do spring cleaning in your house and a lot of things that you have no use for, you give it away. When you begin to have clothes that you can't wear no more, you don't try to fit in something that you sure enough can't wear, you'll give it away. You have no use for it. So with that same illustration, the same concept, whatever in you that you can't use, then give it away. Whatever just causing the stunt to growth in life, and you know what it is, ain't nothing wrong with it. Just give it away. Just be yourself. Until we talk and meet again, we hope something that was said that might help you in this year going forward. I am your host for today, Prophet Rusell Ringo. And remember that God has a miracle for you. And if you like any of the shows and the taping of the shows, you could contact Win TV. And they can forward your information aiming to the host, which is Deborah Ringo, and a prayer request and a correspondent where you like the show, don't like it, something that you want us to talk about, something you want to say, we would love to hear from you. And once again, like I said, until we talk again, I am your host, Prophet Rusell Ringo. God bless you.